So as a seminarian, the past 2 years have given me a lot of assurance for this vocation that I am discerning. So far, I think I should continue to be in the seminary. I think this is where truly the Lord wants me to be. I have felt a lot of peace, a lot of joy. I have grown a lot. I've grown a lot by being in the seminary. Not just spiritually, but just by being a person, by being a friend, and by being a family member. In many little ways, I would say that God has been leading me to something. And what that something is, I did not know what it was. At the time, this is the time I was transitioning from my teenage years to my early young adult life. And I was a part of the young adult ministry at Sacred Heart. I was doing events with retreats and talks with Opus Dei, and I was involved with business, and I was involved with school, so many things. So it was a very, very busy time in my life, and I hadn't really taken time out to really consider this. And it's a blessing because when I went to Casa San Bernardino, I was blessed to join the Catholic New Men Club. And with the Catholic New Men Club, we did so many events, and one of the events we did was going on a retreat. So at this retreat that we went to, the Sacred Heart Sisters retreat camp in Big Bear, we had a moment of adoration, which was a very intense moment for me. Because at this point in my life, I had already started asking God to give me the courage to ask Him what it is that He wants me to do. For at least many years before then, I've always thought about what do I want to do? This is how my life is going to work out. This is how things are planned. But for the first time, I'm really willing to ask God, what plans do you have for me? And so at the adoration, I asked God, what is it that you want me to do? Like, what purpose do you have for me? And you'd be surprised, God answered. And He really took me all around my life, just pretty much from my birth up until that moment. And He's been showing me so many intense moments in my life and how He's always been there and how He's always been leading me towards something. And it was very clear to me through that dialogue that He said Himself that He is calling me to discern priesthood at this time. After that whole conversation, I was waiting for God to go, just kidding. But that didn't work. He never said He was kidding. And I took Him for reals. Well, my number one fear after I got this entire message and joined my spiritual direction was my mom. And it's actually funny because I had, long before I told my mom about this experience and things like that, I had already started talking to a priest about it and, talking to my friends here and there. It's like, this is what's going on. And I was very fearful because, I supported my mom a lot with her business and with many little things around the house. And I thought that, well, of course, I had come to the United States because I really wanted to be united with my mom again. But it's like God is about to take me away from this, and that was a very huge change for me. So that was a very intense decision for me to make. And through spiritual direction, I realized that even long before I hadn't been with my mom, that God was taking care of her, that I can't do everything by myself, that God is going to always be there for her. Before going into the seminary, I had not had any encounter with a religious priest or a nun or anything like that. So it wasn't a concern for me, whether diocesan or religious. But by being a part of this diocese, being involved with the young adult ministry, with the youth ministry, with even the many prayer groups, I have come to learn the needs of the diocese and even the blessings that the diocese has, that if it is the will of God that I serve Him in this diocese, that it's going to be a very, very great, rewarding life experience. At this time in life, it is essential that you really think about the people, the places, and the things that you're involved with or that you're doing things with, because it is essential. The people that you spend time with, they really determine the path that your life is going to take. So have good friends and be a good person toward them, and try to develop a prayer life. Prayer is a union with God, and God is going to surprise you if only but you give Him an opportunity, if only but you open your heart to God.